This, Dr. Sinclair, who are you?
Sergeant Kane. My real name is Maya Sinclair. As for your...
They stripped her bare in front of everyone. Then the SEAL leader froze at the tattoo on her spine. Maya Sinclair stepped off the transport bus at Naval Special Warfare Training Center at 05:30 on Monday morning, her wire-rimmed glasses and nervous demeanor making her look more like a lost graduate student than a SEAL candidate. In 6 hours, her spine would reveal a secret that would silence the entire command structure. Maya 31 appears to be an unlikely military candidate with her soft voice and academic appearance, but her heavily redacted personnel file suggests classified service history. She carries herself with subtle precision that trained eyes might recognize while maintaining a carefully constructed facade of uncertainty and inexperience. What happened during her final evaluation would expose how elite military units can overlook their most dangerous operators when they don't fit traditional warrior stereotypes, and how one woman's deception would revolutionize special operations training forever. Naval Special Warfare Training Center in Coronado, California. The crucible where America's most elite warriors are forged through months of brutal physical and psychological testing. The facility operates under constant pressure to maintain standards while identifying candidates capable of the world's most dangerous missions. The training environment is designed to break down civilian identities and rebuild military operators through systematic stress, physical punishment, and psychological manipulation. Instructors use hazing, intimidation, and public humiliation to identify those who crack under pressure versus those who emerge stronger. Recent military integration policies have created tension as traditional male-dominated units adapt to female candidates. Some instructors and trainees resist change, creating hostile environments that test not just physical capabilities, but psychological resilience against discrimination and harassment. This setting represents the military struggle between maintaining elite standards and adapting to evolving warfare that requires diverse skill sets beyond traditional combat abilities. Maya grew up in academic environments. Her parents were university professors who emphasized intellectual achievement over physical prowess. She excelled in languages, psychology, and strategic thinking, but appeared to lack military background. Her recruitment through civilian channels suggested she was part of experimental programs, bringing outside expertise into special operations. However, her true background remains classified at the highest levels, with her real training and operational experience hidden behind carefully constructed civilian credentials and academic achievements. Maya's assignment to SEAL training appears to be her first military experience, but subtle indicators suggest otherwise. Her precise movement patterns, situational awareness, and stress responses indicate advanced tactical training that she carefully conceals behind nervous academic mannerisms. She lives in standard candidate barracks, maintaining her cover as an intellectual outsider while secretly observing training protocols, instructor methods, and candidate psychology. Her isolation from other trainees is both genuine social awkwardness and calculated operational security. Despite her unassuming appearance, Maya possesses extraordinary abilities that she systematically conceals advanced weapons training, disguised as beginner's luck martial arts expertise, masked as defensive reactions and strategic thinking, presented as academic analysis. Her greatest skill is invisibility through misdirection, appearing weak while demonstrating competence, seeming nervous while maintaining perfect situational awareness. Maya's photographic memory allows her to document everything while appearing to simply take notes. Her presidential service tattoo hidden on her spine represents classification levels so high that only select military leadership would recognize its significance. Maya must successfully complete SEAL training while maintaining her cover as an inexperienced civilian candidate. The challenge: excel enough to pass evaluation without revealing her true capabilities or compromising her classified mission to assess training protocols and identify systemic weaknesses. Her greatest obstacle is Staff Sergeant Victoria Blake, who leads harassment campaigns against Maya's perceived weakness, while actually testing her true capabilities. Blake's hostility serves Maya's mission by providing data on discrimination patterns, but also threatens to expose her cover if pushed too far. The stakes are multiple: personal success and training mission completion for her classified assessment, and potential exposure that could compromise ongoing presidential-level operations. Maya must balance authentic responses to harassment with maintaining operational security, all while gathering intelligence that could reshape special operations training nationwide. This conflict represents the broader challenge of hidden strength operating within systems designed to identify and eliminate perceived weakness. Maya's classified orders came directly from the White House 3 months earlier: assess Naval Special Warfare training protocols for systemic biases that may exclude qualified candidates based on non-traditional backgrounds. Her mission briefing included psychological profiles of key instructors and authority to gather intelligence using any necessary cover identity. The presidential directive emerged from concerns that elite military units were rejecting candidates who possessed crucial skills for modern warfare but didn't fit traditional warrior stereotypes. Intelligence agencies needed operators who could blend into civilian populations, not just dominate battlefields through physical superiority. Maya's assignment required total immersion in SEAL training while maintaining her cover as Dr. Maya Sinclair, a civilian linguistics expert recruited through experimental diversity programs. Her academic credentials were real, but her military background was classified at levels requiring presidential clearance to access. Your success or failure will determine whether we can identify future operators before our enemies do, her handler explained. Traditional training methods may be filtering out exactly the people we need most for asymmetric warfare. Maya accepted, knowing that exposure could end her career and compromise national security operations spanning multiple agencies. Maya spent 6 months preparing for her deep cover assignment through intensive physical conditioning disguised as academic fitness programs. She practiced concealing her advanced combat skills while maintaining credible civilian mannerisms and responses to military stress. Her cover identity included fabricated personal history, academic publications, and social media presence spanning several years. The presidential operations team created backstories so detailed that even intelligence community background checks would confirm her civilian status. Most critically, Maya prepared psychologically for harassment and discrimination she would face as a female candidate with no apparent military experience. Her training included methods for documenting abuse while appearing to simply cope with it, gathering evidence for later analysis without compromising her cover. She memorized SEAL training protocols, instructor backgrounds, and facility layouts while maintaining plausible ignorance about military procedures. Maya practiced being bad at things. She excelled at creating authentic struggle responses that would convince trained observers. Her communication protocols with handlers required extreme security, information transfer through seemingly innocent academic research activities and personal correspondence. Any exposure would compromise not just her mission, but ongoing presidential-level operations she couldn't even know about. Maya also prepared backup extraction procedures if her cover was blown, though mission success required completing full training cycle regardless of personal cost. Maya's arrival at Naval Special Warfare Training Center triggered immediate scrutiny from instructors and fellow candidates. Her nervous academic demeanor and obvious unfamiliarity with military protocols marked her as an outsider, worthy of special attention. Master Chief Alexander Kane, the facility's senior instructor, reviewed her file with suspicion. "Dr. Sinclair, your recruitment through civilian channels is unusual. What makes you think you belong here?" Maya's response was perfectly calibrated, stammering uncertainty mixed with genuine determination that convinced observers of her authenticity. Staff Sergeant Victoria Blake immediately identified Maya as a target for the psychological pressure designed to eliminate weak candidates. "You look like you got lost on the way to the library," Blake announced during first formation, drawing laughter from other trainees. Maya's initial performance was strategically mediocre, good enough to continue training, but weak enough to maintain her cover. She struggled with equipment she could operate, expertly appeared confused by procedures she understood completely, and documented everything in notebooks that appeared to be desperate studying. But subtle observers noted inconsistencies, her situational awareness during surprise exercises, her defensive positioning during harassment, and her stress management under extreme pressure. Staff Sergeant Blake began systematic harassment designed to break Maya's perceived weakness. "Dr. Bookworm thinks she can play soldier," Blake announced during physical training, assigning Maya impossible tasks while other candidates received standard exercises. Maya responded with calculated struggle, showing just enough competence to continue training while appearing overwhelmed by military demands. Her notebook documentation increased, which Blake interpreted as desperate studying rather than intelligence gathering. Other candidates joined Blake's harassment, sensing easy prey. Maya's academic mannerisms and nervous responses reinforced their assumptions about her inadequacy for special operations. Training intensity escalated as Maya advanced through selection phases, with Blake increasing psychological pressure through public humiliation and impossible standards. During combat exercises, Maya allowed herself to be defeated by superior opponents while secretly analyzing their techniques and documenting training protocols. Her apparent failures masked systematic intelligence collection about instructor methods, candidate psychology, and institutional biases. Blake's harassment provided valuable data about discrimination patterns, but also created genuine stress that tested Maya's ability to maintain her cover while gathering mission-critical information about systemic training weaknesses. As final evaluations approached, Blake assigned Maya increasingly dangerous solo missions designed to force her elimination from the program. Maya's strategic failures became more difficult to maintain as survival required revealing genuine capabilities. Her cover story showed strain under examination by suspicious instructors who noticed inconsistencies between her academic background and subtle military competencies. Maintaining operational security while completing deadly training exercises created impossible contradictions that threatened mission exposure. Blake's final test, an impossible solo infiltration mission, would require Maya to choose between maintaining cover and staying alive. Maya's unusual presence at SEAL training attracted attention beyond normal candidate scrutiny. Intelligence community observers monitored the experimental diversity recruitment program, while foreign agents investigated potential security vulnerabilities created by civilian integration into elite military units. Her academic credentials triggered background investigations that came dangerously close to exposing her classified operational history. Multiple agencies cross-referenced her cover identity, creating intelligence patterns that sophisticated adversaries might recognize as artificial construction. Blake's harassment campaign drew support from traditional instructors who viewed Maya's presence as evidence of declining military standards. Their resistance to change provided valuable data for Maya's assessment, but also created genuine danger as they increased pressure to eliminate her from training. Fellow candidates' reactions ranged from protective support to active participation in harassment, giving Maya insights into military culture that her missions required. Some recognized her hidden competencies, while others accepted her weakness at face value. Media attention to military integration policies created external pressure on training facilities to either prove diversity programs worked or demonstrate their failure. Maya's success or elimination would be scrutinized as evidence supporting either position. Maintaining her cover while enduring systematic harassment forced Maya to confront aspects of military culture she'd only studied academically. The psychological toll of appearing weak while possessing superior abilities created internal conflict between her mission requirements and personal dignity. Blake's attacks revealed Maya's own assumptions about strength and vulnerability, teaching her that apparent weakness could be its own form of power when used strategically. Her academic background proved more valuable in special operations than traditional military training suggested. Maya's documentation process evolved from simple intelligence gathering to genuine analysis of how elite military units could better identify and develop diverse talents. Her personal experience of discrimination became professional expertise in recognizing systemic biases. The constant stress of dual identity, appearing inadequate while being exceptionally qualified, developed Maya's psychological resilience beyond what traditional training provided. She learned to find strength in perceived weakness and advantage in underestimation. Her relationship with other candidates taught her about military brotherhood and the importance of authentic connections even within deceptive operational parameters. Maya began caring about their success independently of her mission requirements. Despite Maya's careful cover maintenance, several instructors began noticing inconsistencies that threatened mission exposure. Master Chief Kane observed her situational awareness during surprise exercises and questioned whether her academic background fully explained her capabilities. Blake's final test A solo infiltration mission through hostile territory with extraction dependent on success would require Maya to demonstrate abilities that no civilian linguistics expert should possess. Failure meant elimination from training, but success would raise questions about her true background. Intelligence community monitoring of the diversity program created additional scrutiny that made Maya's mission increasingly dangerous. Background investigators were beginning to notice gaps in her cover story that only existed because her real history was classified beyond their clearance levels. Foreign intelligence services had identified the experimental program as a potential vulnerability and were preparing operations to exploit or compromise participants. Maya's exposure could trigger international incidents affecting presidential-level operations she wasn't authorized to know about. The facility's security protocols were designed to identify threats, but they couldn't distinguish between hostile infiltration and friendly assessment operations. Maya's presence was setting off alarms that could lead to her identification as a security risk rather than authorized investigator. Blake's final evaluation mission was designed as Maya's elimination test solo infiltration of a fortified position intelligence gathering under hostile conditions and extraction through enemy territory, all within a 12-hour window that experienced special operators would find challenging. Dr. Bookworm gets to prove she belongs here, Blake announced with sadistic satisfaction. The mission parameters were impossible for Maya's cover identity. A civilian linguistics expert would lack the tactical skills, physical conditioning, and psychological preparation for such operations. But refusing the assignment would confirm Blake's assessment that Maya didn't belong in special operations training. Maya realized Blake had created a perfect trap succeed and expose her true capabilities or fail and be eliminated from training with mission objectives incomplete. Either outcome compromised her presidential directive to assess training protocols while maintaining operational security. The infiltration site was a mock terrorist compound defended by instructor teams using live ammunition during training exercises. Candidates had been killed during previous evaluations, making survival dependent on genuine special operations capabilities rather than academic intelligence or luck. Maya's handler communication protocols prohibited external assistance, leaving her completely isolated during the most dangerous phase of her assignment. Her cover identity provided no justification for the tactical expertise required to survive Blake's elimination test. As darkness fell and Maya prepared for insertion, she understood that maintaining her cover might be impossible if she wanted to survive the next 12 hours. The academic facade that had protected her identity was about to become her death sentence. Facing Blake's impossible mission, Maya confronted the fundamental contradiction of her assignment. She couldn't assess training protocols. If she died maintaining her cover, but exposing her capabilities would compromise operations extending far beyond her personal mission. The easy choice was mission abort radio for extraction claim medical emergency and withdraw from training with whatever intelligence she'd already gathered. Her handlers would understand that some covers couldn't be maintained indefinitely under extreme pressure, but Maya realized that Blake's test was exactly the kind of systematic bias her mission was designed to identify, evaluating candidates based on appearance rather than capability, using elimination rather than development, and prioritizing conformity over competence. If I withdraw, Blake wins and the system continues unchanged, Maya thought while reviewing the impossible mission parameters. If I succeed while maintaining cover, I prove that traditional assessment methods miss qualified candidates. Her decision crystallized around a deeper truth. The presidential directive wasn't just about identifying bias, but demonstrating alternative approaches to developing elite operators. Maya's success or failure would influence policy affecting thousands of future candidates. The ultimate stakes weren't just her personal survival or mission completion, but whether special operations training would evolve to recognize diverse talents or continue eliminating candidates who didn't fit traditional stereotypes. Maya chose to attempt the impossible complete Blake's elimination test while maintaining enough cover to continue her assessment mission. It would require revealing some capabilities while concealing others, threading a needle between exposure and elimination. Maya made the decision that would define both her mission and military training protocols. She would complete Blake's impossible test using only capabilities that her cover identity could plausibly explain, forcing the system to recognize competence regardless of how it manifested. Instead of relying on her classified special operations training, Maya would use her genuine academic expertise in linguistics and psychology to succeed through intelligence rather than traditional military capabilities. Her doctoral research in conflict resolution and cultural analysis became operational advantages. The infiltration mission became an experiment in alternative approaches to special operations using intellectual analysis instead of brute force, cultural understanding instead of intimidation, and psychological manipulation instead of physical violence. They expect me to fail because I don't look like their ideal warrior, Maya realized while studying the compound defenses. But maybe their ideal warrior isn't what modern operations actually require. Her transformation wasn't from weak to strong, but from concealed to revealed, not hiding her true capabilities, but demonstrating that strength comes in forms that traditional military culture doesn't recognize or value. Maya was about to prove that the future of special operations belonged to operators who could succeed through intelligence, adaptability, and diverse skill sets, rather than conformity to outdated warrior stereotypes. Maya spent her final hours before the infiltration mission analyzing the compound layout through her academic lens rather than military training. She identified cultural and psychological patterns in the defensive setup that traditional tactical analysis would miss, finding vulnerabilities that existed in human behavior rather than physical barriers. Her approach bypassed conventional infiltration methods entirely. Instead of sneaking past guards, she would manipulate their expectations and cultural assumptions to walk through their defenses. Her linguistics expertise and psychological training became operational weapons more powerful than traditional combat skills. Maya prepared academic explanations for every technique she would use, ensuring her success could be attributed to intellectual analysis rather than classified military training. Her doctorate in conflict psychology provided legitimate justification for understanding human behavior patterns that special operations typically learned through classified programs. She practiced maintaining her nervous academic demeanor while executing perfect tactical movements, preparing to succeed spectacularly, while appearing to stumble through by accident and intelligence rather than training and experience. The mission would prove that modern special operations needed scholars as much as soldiers, and that the most dangerous operators might be those who looked least dangerous. As Maya approached the infiltration site at 2200 hours, every instructor and candidate gathered to witness what they expected to be her elimination from the program. Blake had orchestrated this public failure as both lesson and entertainment for traditional warriors skeptical of diversity initiatives. Master Chief Kane monitored communications while senior instructors observed through thermal imaging and surveillance equipment. The consensus was clear: Dr. Bookworm would be lucky to survive the first hour, let alone complete the mission objectives. Blake's sadistic anticipation was shared by candidates who joined her harassment campaign, expecting Maya's failure to validate their assumptions about academic weakness in military settings. Even supportive candidates doubted Maya could survive what experienced operators found challenging. The compound defender's veteran instructors playing enemy roles prepared for standard infiltration attempts using conventional special operations tactics. They had no protocols for academic approaches to tactical problems because such methods had never been attempted in military training. Maya's handlers, monitoring from classified locations, faced their own tension. Exposing their operative to save her life would compromise multiple ongoing operations, but losing her would eliminate critical intelligence about systemic military training failures. The stage was set for either Maya's spectacular failure or a demonstration that would revolutionize special operations assessment forever. Maya's infiltration began with techniques no special operations manual contained. She analyzed guard rotation patterns through behavioral psychology rather than timing surveillance, identified cultural assumptions in security protocols through anthropological analysis, and approached the compound as an academic studying military behavior rather than an enemy seeking to defeat it. Her first breakthrough came from recognizing that defenders expected traditional military approaches and had unconsciously created blind spots in areas they considered too obvious for trained infiltrators. Maya walked through the front gate during guard shift change, carrying herself with academic confidence rather than tactical stealth. "I'm Dr. Sinclair from the university," she told confused guards, showing fabricated research credentials. "I'm here to observe training methodologies for my study on military education effectiveness." Her nervous professor demeanor was so convincing that guards assumed she was authorized civilian personnel. Once inside the compound, Maya faced unexpected challenges that traditional infiltration training hadn't prepared her for. Defenders who questioned her presence but couldn't decide whether to treat her as threat or administrative error. Her cover story created confusion that worked better than camouflage. Master Chief Kane watched through surveillance with growing bewilderment. What is she doing? This isn't infiltration. It's academic research. Other instructors shared his confusion as Maya gathered intelligence through interviews rather than reconnaissance, treating enemy personnel as research subjects rather than hostile targets. Blake's certainty about Maya's failure wavered as radio communications revealed her successful penetration of supposedly secure areas. "She's not even trying to hide," Blake muttered, watching Maya take notes while walking freely through restricted zones. The compound's defensive protocols had no response procedures for someone who approached military objectives through academic inquiry rather than tactical assault. Maya's intellectual confidence bypassed security measures designed to detect traditional threats. But success created new dangers. Her cover story would collapse under detailed examination, and legitimate intelligence gathering could be mistaken for espionage if her true identity was discovered. The climactic moment arrived when Maya reached the mission's final objective: intelligence retrieval from a secure communications center. Traditional approaches required defeating electronic security and eliminating guards through violence. But Maya's academic method took a completely different approach. "Excuse me," she asked the communications officer, "I'm studying information flow in military organizations. Could you explain how classified material is processed here?" Her genuine intellectual curiosity and professional demeanor prompted detailed explanations that revealed more intelligence than covert surveillance could gather. The officer, proud of his technical expertise and flattered by academic attention, provided complete operational briefings, while Maya took careful notes. Her doctoral training in eliciting information through interview techniques proved more effective than traditional intelligence gathering methods. Master Chief Kane realized he was witnessing something unprecedented: mission success through competence he'd never recognized as militarily valuable. "She's not infiltrating," he radioed to other observers. "She's conducting field research, and it's working better than tactical operations." But Maya's success created immediate danger when the communications officer began questioning her credentials more closely. Her cover story started unraveling under expert scrutiny, forcing her to choose between maintaining academic facade and extracting successfully with gathered intelligence. The moment of truth arrived when security protocols triggered background verification that would expose her classified identity within minutes. Maya's extraction required revealing capabilities that no academic could possess, but she managed to maintain plausible deniability by framing her actions as desperate improvisation rather than trained competence. When alarms triggered, she appeared to panic authentically while executing perfect tactical movements. Her escape route utilized everything she'd learned about human psychology and cultural assumptions. Guards pursued someone they expected to behave like a frightened academic, not a trained operator. Maya's ability to appear terrified while maintaining operational effectiveness created cognitive dissonance that delayed pursuit responses. The breakthrough came when Maya completed the impossible mission in record time, using methods that challenged every assumption about special operations capabilities. Her success forced immediate re-evaluation of training protocols and candidate assessment procedures. Blake's attempt to discredit Maya's achievement backfired when mission analysis revealed superior intelligence gathering and innovative problem-solving that traditional methods couldn't match. Academic training had produced operational results that military education hadn't achieved. Master Chief Kane faced unprecedented questions about what abilities actually mattered for modern special operations, and whether traditional warrior stereotypes were limiting rather than enhancing military effectiveness. Maya's mission success created immediate controversy within the training facility, as instructors struggled to understand how academic methods had achieved superior operational results. Blake's harassment campaign was suddenly reframed as discrimination against effective but non-traditional capabilities. Her success triggered mandatory debriefing sessions, where Maya had to explain her methods without revealing classified training, walking a tightrope between education and exposure that tested her cover maintenance skills beyond their limits. The facility's command structure began questioning fundamental assumptions about candidate evaluation and training effectiveness, initiating reviews that would ultimately reshape special operations assessment procedures. Maya's successful completion of Blake's impossible mission triggered immediate command investigation into training protocols and candidate assessment procedures. Master Chief Kane convened emergency leadership meetings to analyze how academic methods had outperformed traditional special operations approaches. Blake faced disciplinary action for harassment that nearly eliminated a superior candidate, while Maya's techniques became case studies for innovative operational approaches. Her mission success forced immediate policy reviews about diversity integration and alternative capability recognition. The facility implemented emergency protocols for protecting candidates who demonstrated competence through non-traditional methods, acknowledging that systematic bias had nearly eliminated valuable operational talent. Maya's documentation of harassment patterns provided evidence for comprehensive training reform. Her academic cover story held during initial debriefings, but Master Chief Kane's growing suspicions about her true background created pressure that threatened mission exposure. Maya had to balance continued intelligence gathering with increasing scrutiny from military leadership who recognized capabilities that civilian training couldn't explain. Maya's infiltration mission became the catalyst for revolutionizing special operations candidate evaluation throughout the military. Her success demonstrated that intellectual approaches could achieve superior results to traditional tactical methods, forcing comprehensive reassessment of what abilities mattered for modern warfare. Training protocols were redesigned to identify and develop diverse capabilities rather than eliminating candidates who didn't fit conventional warrior stereotypes. Maya's academic methods became integrated into special operations curriculum, teaching future operators to use intellectual tools alongside traditional combat skills. Blake's harassment campaign became a cautionary example used in sensitivity training throughout military leadership, demonstrating how bias could eliminate superior operators based on superficial characteristics rather than actual capabilities. International military organizations adopted similar assessment reforms. After studying Maya's case, recognizing that modern conflicts required diverse skill sets that traditional training methods failed to identify or develop, the facility where Maya trained became a model for inclusive excellence, proving that maintaining high standards didn't require conformity to outdated stereotypes, but rather recognition of competence regardless of how it manifested. Maya's experience validated her academic expertise while proving its operational value in military contexts. She discovered that her intellectual training provided advantages that traditional military education couldn't replicate, transforming her understanding of her own capabilities and their applications. Her endurance of systematic harassment while maintaining mission focus demonstrated psychological resilience that surpassed traditional warrior development. Maya learned that appearing weak while remaining strong was itself a form of advanced operational skill. I never needed to become a traditional warrior, Maya reflected. I needed to prove that non-traditional warriors could be more effective than traditional ones. Maya's story proves that true strength comes in forms that traditional systems don't recognize or value. When institutions judge capability by appearance rather than performance, they eliminate their most effective operators. Every person who seems unsuited for elite performance may possess exactly the qualities that elite performance actually requires. The tattoo on Maya's spine, when finally revealed during medical examination, displayed the Presidential Service Cross, recognition so classified that only Master Chief Kane and select senior officers understood its significance. Her academic cover was revealed as operational necessity rather than deception, and her harassment by Blake became evidence of how elite military units could overlook their most valuable assets. Today, the training protocols Maya helped develop ensure that no candidate is eliminated based on superficial characteristics rather than actual capabilities. Her legacy lives on in every non-traditional operator who finds acceptance in military units that once would have rejected them, proving that the future of special operations belongs to those who can succeed through intelligence, adaptability, and diverse approaches rather than conformity to outdated warrior stereotypes. Maya continues her classified service, but her impact on military training ensures that appearance will never again be mistaken for capability, and that the most dangerous operators may be those who look least dangerous until the moment they choose to reveal exactly how elite they really are.